Hey, Scott Russell, I want to talk a little bit about our gifts. As we come into business and doing business, I think it's really important to be creative with where we're going. The world is definitely changing rapidly. A lot of people can either see problems or you can see solutions, and we definitely have a lot of problems. So that means we got a lot of solutions. And I think it's something I've always said is that in business is that money follows gifts. Gifts don't follow money. And if you're somebody that's in business, or you're trying to provide for your family, or you're trying to get things together, if money is your focus, money is an illusion. Money is an illusion that will suck your soul dry and you'll never have enough. But when you're doing what you love, when you're in your gift, now it's funny, I wrote a book on gifts, and usually what you're gifted in, you may not know. So if I ask you, what are you gifted in? People are always like, I'm a gifted entrepreneur. Yeah, right, okay. Generally what you think you're gifted in, you're actually not. It's kind of like religion. You're working hard at it, you're trying to make it happen, but you don't really have God in it. But if I ask your friends, what are you gifted in? They'll always come back and say, oh man, that person's just brings so much hope. When I'm down and out, this person brings hope and it sparks me up. And you'd be like, really? I don't see that. Because you think about it, when you're gifted in something, it's not what you do, it's who you are. If I am someone that brings hope, I don't do that. It's just who I am. Pardon me. So I think a lot of people have never bothered to find their relevance in life. They are always trying to be what somebody else is, or what they have admired or want to be, and they're working hard to be that instead of resting in who they truly are. And as rough times are coming and are here, it's important that we allow our gifts to lead us and to take us where we need to be. And that comes from a couple of things. One is surrender. I surrender my life. For me, it's to God. I'm like, God, my opinions, my ways, my desires, I give to you. And then I follow the peace, as you've heard me talk about. And then when I follow the peace, I know who I am. I know I'm loved. I know my value to myself and to God. Then I walk in the creative of life. And when you walk in the creative, you'll do things that have never been done before. You'll see things the way people have never seen things before. And you'll bring about change. I know a man that, I'm dealing with different men, but I know a man that that lives this, and he's finally abandoned himself and allowed himself to be in his gift. And saying, I'm not going to keep people in my life that don't want to be there, or that I have to work to have there, but if they will flow with me, they can stay. And as this man's done this, significant things have happened. He got a release of giftings, millions, something that came to him that he wasn't even striving to get or trying to get. It just arrived. Then on the back of that, men have arrived that are in his life that are coming and saying, well, we want to develop things with you here. We want to bring release further into this. And others, that have come that have said, well, I think that this is to bring hope for many people and life for many people. And I'm watching this man as things are just unfolding around his life, which are pretty incredible. And he's not trying to do that. And I think many businessmen, they're in the religion of business. Or provision. You're in maybe the religion of provision. Working hard, it's never enough. In religion, you're never good enough. Always got to try harder, do more, be something different. But in the Holy Spirit, you rest in who you are, and you let the purposes of God carry you forth. I was having breakfast with a businessman this morning who's looking at doing an opportunity that's millions, and doesn't make sense to his head, but he's taking the journey in his spirit and in his heart. And as I talked about, sitting in when God puts something in you, the vision of this, he's talked about doing this for years, and finally the opportunity's arisen. I said, when that nugget is in you, live in that. Don't try to control it. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to fantasize about it. but just sit in the peace that it brings you. And as you sit in the peace of that, when another little bit comes to it and maybe a little part just pops out, then it's growing that little bit. Live in that. Live in the vision, the spiritual vision of who you are and what it is that's around your life. It doesn't have to make sense to your head. It doesn't have to make sense to why you're doing this or why you're here. What has to be is peace, that I'm in the right place with the right people doing the right things. And as I've listened to, I have one of my closest friends or associates for the last 20-something years, has been very successful in business. And one of the things he's talked about is he doesn't look for opportunities. He lets opportunities look for him. And then he flows with that. And we were just talking a few days ago, and he's saying that, Scott, when I really look at my life, he said, I've had $100 million stolen from me, from bad partners, people doing things they shouldn't do. And I felt like God was asking me, are you bitter about that? What your loss is? And he said, well, there's a little bit of anger there. And it was like God said, you're in a new family now. And that family is a core of businessmen that are coming and flowing in the Spirit. And I'd like to say it this way. It may be hard for some to really get it, but this is a spiritual statement. Others of you will love this. We have to do from our be. We don't do to be. So religion, you will do things to be somebody, do things to be better, do to be. Or be is your state of being. If I know who I am, if I know that I'm loved, if I know that I'm safe here, I will do out of that. And when I do out of that, the results are limitless. Because what will happen is it will pull others in that are secure in who they are instead of insecurity. Because you see, insecurity is something that steals our destiny. It steals our purpose. And it tells us we're not in a safe place. Because we're insecure. When we're insecure, we're striving and trying to be loved. We're striving and trying to be accepted. And when you're trying to be loved, it's because you don't know who you are. You don't know why you were created. You don't think you're good enough. And often those people make up for it with overt pride, or possessions or actions, because underneath that, when we're insecure, we make up for it with overt something. But when you just know who you are and you can flow in that, you will attract what I call the koinonia, Greek word, community, fellowship, caring, intercourse, giving, those sort of things, and a spiritual koinonia. And as that comes together, then I'm complete. But when that right person comes in that, they bring out my better than best. Synergizing happens. And we're seeing that with men that are very prominent in their fields. That, a lot of people are looking at the world and going, this is collapsing. And there's other men that are looking and going, wow, opportunities presenting themselves amazingly. Now, it's a different system. I like to say I operate in God's economy. I don't operate in the world's economy. Now, I know people, what do you mean by that? We still have to live in this world. I operate in God's economy, not the world's economy. Because the world's economy is there. The thief robs, kills, steals, and destroys. But I've come that you have life and have it more abundantly, Jesus said. When you operate in the flow of the Holy Spirit for your life, you will see blessing. You will see goodness. You will see things open up to you, which are astounding. But you have to let go of your control and say, I'll take the journey in knowing who I am and what my gifts are in my life, because I don't know what they are, but I know I'm flowing in them because peace is there, love is there, righteousness is there, and the right people are coming to that. People that are not using me to get ahead, people that are fellowshipping with me. And I like to say, when someone's of the right spirit, you're putting into them and they're putting into you. Nobody is talking down, nobody is talking up. We reveal each other. And I believe marriage should be that. We reveal each other as we bring out our better than best. So if you're in the wrong place with the wrong people doing the wrong things, then change what you're doing, make the decision, and flow with the peace and what God has for your life. God bless.